Sullivan. Another presentation, case study. Going to take a look at a loan in foreclosure and do a comparative analysis, brief comparative analysis with the statement that we received, and see what happens. Let's get started. We have a statement here from the servicer, and I don't know if it's going to come out in this presentation as clear as I had hoped it would. We're going to take the information directly from these boxes, these quadrants right here. I'm going to start actually with this verbiage over here. This is what I don't think you'll be able to see, but we have a statement dated showing 2/1/21, and in the most strangest of situations, there's the strangest circumstances, it discusses the last rate change was in 4/1/2006. That makes a lot of sense. But that gives a lot of support to what we've been saying, and that is the backdating by admission. Now, there's something called date stacking, and what you see here is what I should copyright the name. Date stacking is where you have a bunch of dates in one paragraph, and you stack them up together, and you see what you get. So it goes from 2/1/21 to 4/1/06. Then it jumps back to 2/1/21 in a statement. And then it says the next rate change is going to be 2/1/22. So it's not that hard, folks. If you take the number of days between these two dates, 5420, then bounce right back, 5420, ending with 365 days. So what you actually see here is just shy of 15 years, offset by 15 years, offset by 12 months. So what you're in essence doing is getting a 30-year mortgage buried in 1 year. That's right. It's 15 years credit back, 15 years credit forward. That's a 30-year mortgage in 1 year. And the year would be between 2021 and 2020 year, called the year of disposition. It fall under the installment sale rules with the IRS. I forget what bulletin that is, but you might want to type in IRS rules, IRS publication installment sale. I want to say 541, but you got to check that and take a look at the rules for the installment sale. This is not a conventional mortgage as one would think. It's a installment sale. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the other things that we picked up. Here you can see the interest rate, 3.746, and principal showing 2143.57. Interest, this is one payment broken down. Interest 1352.17, and escrow, which would be taxes and insurance impounds, 508.37. So total monthly payment is $4,004.11. That's all we need to go to the races. We have enough now to put together a deal. And it's not going to be a conventional mortgage, as what the borrower had, what was originally represented to the borrower, for which she signed the documents in good faith. What we see here is, what you do here is you take the monthly payment, guess what? You annualize it, multiply it by 12 months. That gives you 1 year of annual debt service. Your annual debt service comes in at $48,049.32. Then what we did is we factored 30 years, okay? If this was a weighted average payment over 30 years, okay, I take that back. Yeah, life alone would be 30 years. And the per annum we're using for the life alone, number of days per year, 366.54. So we took 30 years times 366.54. That would give you the number of days in the years, or a 30-year term. You understand? 30 years at 366.54 days a year, 10,996.23. Now digest that for a moment, because what we're going to show you is very important. Every number, every numeric expression has a counterparty format in the form of a date. And some people don't seem to be able to handle this, but that's what the Y2K disclosures were all about. Every numeric value has a formatted date that corresponds to the numeric value. So if you were to say, well, then what is number one? Well, number one would be January 1st, 1900. 2 would be the next day, 3, and it goes on in sequential order all the way up. So every number has a corresponding date as a value, and it's based on formatting. So we took 30 years times 366.54 days in a year, and we came up with 10,99623. I'm going to toss that number, and I'm going to go for its alternative format, which is a date. The date, that number right there, corresponds to the date 2/7/30. Now, based on the original TARP and the markets collapse back in 2008, 2010, the rule stated that the Department of Treasury instructed the lenders to always make an adjustment for 7 days. So 2/7/30, which is interesting, which is 10,996. The corresponding date is 2/7/30. Subtract 7, 131/30, and then I subtracted 30 days. 30 being years, I subtracted 30 as in days. Okay. That took me from 2/7/30 to 1/31 to 1/1/30. And then I took it back one more day, 12/31/29. And look what we got. 7 days, 30 days, and 1 day back. 36,523 days. That's, oh, you can't see this, 99.64 years. 99 as in a ground lease, 99-year ground lease. Backdating, 1 day. 1 day. 1/1/30, 12/31/29 equals 100 years. Now, how do I know I'm right about the 7-day adjustment? How do I know I'm right about the 30-day adjustment? Well, I needed those to take that from that date to this date. But what happens is when you divide these numbers here by 366 days, this is where I get the 99.64 years. And this gives me a fraction. This gives me a fraction. And what this equals are 2 more loans right here. This one equals 1.9%. This equals 8 1/8%. Now, I'm going to show you how Microsoft Excel formats this before I let you go, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. That right there is a number that was converted to a date. See? That's your number. And here's your date. Ah, that's 1930. See these? When they get converted, look what we get. 1930. So January 1st, 1930 to 12/31/29 is 99.6 years? Yeah, I think so. It's a lot of money. The economies of scale say that you ain't going to win. What's your best defense in a foreclosure? I'm not an attorney, I can't tell you that, but I will tell you that we're accountants and this is what we do, auditing for a living. Look forward to working with you. I'm M. Solomon. You can reach me at 202-550-8364, 220-550-8364, or you can reach me at expert.witness@live.com or secondarytradedesk@gmail.com, secondarytradedesk@gmail.com. Signing off.